So I've been thinking about this ever since Cobra Kai first come out in its first season. Is Daniel Larusso the real bully when it comes to his and Johnny's I don't know, feud, I guess you could say. And I feel like this article kind of lays it out exactly uh like how I see it. And I would go even so far to add definitely Daniel was the bully. And I'll tell you the reason why. In Cobra Kai, he is always somebody that is. Look, his daughter is the one that wrecked Johnny's car. He is constantly reminding Johnny of basically, the time that he beat him up in the tournament. It's always those things that just really piss me off about Daniel Larusso. I have a lot of problems with Daniel Larusso in Cobra Kai. I kind of feel like he kind of comes off as a kind of a weird dude. Like when it comes to Allie, his dealings with her. Forget the one that was living in Japan. The way he was kind of having feelings towards her. I kind of felt like he was kind of like a douchebag kind of dad and a douchebag kind of like husband as well in that case. But I digress. Let's talk about the Daniel and Johnny feud. It says in the popular sequel series, Cobra Kai has rekindled the highly debated fan theory of whether Johnny Lawrence or Daniel LaRusso was the real bully in the original Karate Kid trilogy. While many villains appear across the Karate Kid movies, like Chosen and Terry Silver, fans can't forget the OG, Johnny Lawrence. That said, how much of an innocent victim was Daniel? Ralph Macchio and William Zabka, who played Daniel and Johnny respectively, have even commented on the theory when they watched different scenes from Cobra Kai and The Karate Kid in a YouTube video on Netflix's channel. Fans heard Johnny's side of the story regarding the Karate Kid's iconic beach fight in an early episode of Cobra Kai. When he found Miguel was dating Daniel's daughter, Samantha, Johnny decided to give his version of the events, which, to be completely honest, you could maybe say, well, it's him trying to paint himself in a better light. But to be fair, his version was pretty darn true. Johnny and Allie had dated for 2 years before Daniel showed up and started to hit on his girl. While Johnny said Daniel was at fault because he suddenly sucker punched him, fans can't forget Johnny wouldn't give Allie back her radio and push Daniel to the ground. You could say, well, that's a relationship problem, but it still doesn't give you a right to go and hit on somebody else's girlfriend. Says another highly discussed scene that questions who the real victim was in the films is the Halloween dance in the first Karate Kid. Many fans recall Cobra Kai's iconic costumes as skeletons and Daniel dressed as a shower curtain. While Johnny was in the bathroom, Daniel snuck in and doused him with a water hose. However, Johnny's reaction of almost killing Russo in a fight before Mr. Miyagi showed up was a little uncalled for. To be fair, I'm not saying that what he didn't do or what he did was right, but at the same time, when someone has from the very get go been trying to steal your girlfriend and then antagonizing you from the very beginning, I can maybe understand a guy like Johnny completely and totally losing his cool, especially when around his friends. So, not justifying it, but definitely saying, I'm with Johnny on this one. The pair attempted to settle their intense rivalry at the All Valley Karate Tournament in a match Daniel won, although from a debatably illegal crane kick, which Johnny does bring up in Cobra Kai, which I don't know. I don't know the rules, but it was different. Um, After Daniel won, Johnny said, "You're all right, LaRusso." While Johnny was perfectly fine with second place, Kreese was furious and almost killed him with a chokehold and fiery insults before Mr. Miyagi stepped in and saved him. In Cobra Kai, Johnny told Miguel he was more upset when he lost Allie than when he lost the Karate Kid tournament. Now you could, or Karate tournament, sorry, you could make the debate. Allie is actually the person that is responsible for the whole feud anyway, which she actually was. But that maybe by the way that she actually screwed them both over in the end, I mean, she left both of them for somebody else. You could say, if anybody's a villain, it's probably her. It says, however, Allie left both Johnny and Daniel for a UCLA football player. I think the real bad guy in the Karate Kid is Kreese, and I think it's kind of the touching or the teaching that that's the bad guy and that style and that mentality. Zabka stated in the video. Both Machio and Zabka agreed it is up to the fans to decide who is the bad guy in the franchise and stated both Johnny and Daniel have their evil moments in both Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, which I would totally agree. The only thing that I would say in Johnny's defense is Johnny was more down on his luck. It kind of felt like this upper class bully. It's like the roles were reversed. Johnny was the upper class bully when they were kids, and it just felt like Daniel just took on that same thing in Cobra Kai. Now, I think Daniel, out of the fight between him and Johnny, it to me, I think Daniel is the most juvenile of the two. There's some moments with Johnny, he just kind of wants to be left alone, but it's Daniel that just always keeps pushing things to a certain extent. Of course, I know I'm more of a Cobra Kai guy than I probably am Karate Kid. Like, I watched the movies when I was a kid, but I didn't really think they were that impressive. But I love Cobra Kai. I think it's a really good series, and so Johnny's really, I mean, you could say one of the main protagonists of it. So maybe I'm just biased in that regard, and that's fair to say. But it's just, rewatching those movies, I kind of actually truly get this point. Like Mr. Miyagi said, there are no bad students, only bad teachers. Arguably, Johnny was just misguided in the original Karate Kid trilogy because of both Kreese and the lack of a loving relationship with his stepfather. Both Daniel and Johnny had their fair share of vengeful tendencies. Less fans forget when Daniel joined Cobra Kai in the third Karate Kid. Neither Johnny nor Daniel are the real bullies in the Karate Kid franchise, for they are both at fault and neither are innocent victims, which is a fair assessment too. Like, you could say that. Both have suffered traumatic moments in their childhood and led to poor choices and have reacted poorly to adversities. Look, I can live with that. I can live with that. Uh, at the end of the day, I think if there's anybody that's really at fault, it's Allie. Like, let's face it, she's kind of the one responsible for the whole thing in the first place, and she did both of them wrong. So, hey, it's her fault. Let's just say she's the bully and the bad guy in all of this, more than, let's say, Johnny and Daniel, who were both love struck by her and really fought over her love in a lot of different ways. That's what it really come down to. That's the reason why uh, for Johnny, it wasn't, even though it kind of did ruin his life, it was the loss of Allie that really hurt him the most, where his life spiraled out of control. Johnny, you could make the argument, wasn't as in love with her as with Allie as what Johnny was. You could say Daniel wasn't as in love with Allie as what Johnny was, simply because Daniel, as soon as she left, well, he had other love interests. It was. He still, you could see even in Cobra Kai, he still had some feelings for some of his past love interests. While Johnny, his eyes for the most part was on Allie until he met Miguel's mom. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I always kind of looked at it as Johnny being a douche, but not but his actions may be called for to a certain extent. Didn't have to take him to the extreme like he did, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's a teenage boy, spoiled, you know, and capable of hurting somebody because of his, you know, his martial arts skills. So, I mean, teenagers will be teenagers, I guess you could say. But at the end of the day, I'll always be a Johnny fan more than I am a Daniel Larusso fan. But that's just me. As always, guys, let me know what y'all think down below. Who do you think is the real bully of the Karate Kid in the Cobra Kai series? Do you believe that it was Johnny? Do you believe it was Daniel? Or do you believe, like me, both of them were kind of did in by alley? Or do you think neither of them are bullies and they're just teenagers that both did terrible things? Which, you know, I almost kind of lean that way. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.